Welcome to the Chromaniacs, your weekly look inside SanDiego.FC and MLS. I'm Craig Elston, joined once again by my Chromaniacs, Tony Sanchez and Alex Pena. Tony, what's happening?
Well, we got some audio from Training Ground, some good stuff from Chris McVeigh, a little bit of Kamal Pellegrino, and some head coach Mikey Vadas ahead of the first road trip in MLS for SanDiego.FC.
Alex, what's happening, man?
Yeah, and I'm excited to hear from everybody, and it's the first time in the regular season they go on the road, and we finally get to see them, maybe have some adversity as they play against Kansas City.
The road part of the schedule begins, and really a 2-week sojourn for San Diego. 4 matches in 11 days. Toluca looms next week in CONCACAF Champions Cup and the second round. But first, a trip to Sporting Kansas City. We're here to talk about it and the rest of the key issues of the week for the hottest team around in MLS, San Diego FC. We're glad to have you along with us for episode number 35, the 7th episode of season 2 of San Diego FC and season 2 of the Chromaniacs. If you enjoy the show and you're watching us on YouTube, and you can hit that thumbs up button right at the top, we really do appreciate it. Everybody listening on the audio version, hey, we don't ignore you. We appreciate everyone. Video, audio, either way, you can give us that 5-star rating. That's helpful to the program as well. If you're a social media maven, you can follow us on Instagram or even TikTok at the Chromaniacs, where the audience continues to grow. Thank you to Terrible SDFC Memes for the work he does for us in that regard. You can follow him at Terrible SDFC Memes. And with all of those promotions done and dusted, let's head into this episode. And as mentioned, guys, I mean, look, so far you couldn't ask for a better start for San Diego FC. They've weathered the preseason controversies with the roster and their designated player being sent out to a side pasture, so to speak. They've advanced already past Pumas and defeated a Liga MX team, something that most people from the outside at least did not expect them to do. And so far facing 2 teams that are both not expected to necessarily make the playoffs this year. SDFC has put up 2 wins, 7 goals, 2 clean sheets, wonderful home atmospheres. Everything's coming up Millhouse so far for San Diego FC. What should fans of this team expect to see change over the course of the next 2 weeks as this test turns away from home?
Well, it's going to be a little bit of good news, Alex. And let me tell you real quick, because I saw from the audio that health is one thing that is coming San Diego FC's way. And does that mean that this team gets better? What do you think, Alex?
Oh yeah, I saw on the socials a little Lewis Morgan news that he's out there, he's back out at training, and that'd be a great addition to help with depth and obviously, Kamal Pellegrino can't play all these games. You got Sporting KC, Toluca, FC Dallas, Toluca again. That's a crazy. I think Memes did the math. 6,200 miles, going back and forth and all over the place like that. That's a lot of travel, and yeah, we can't expect these guys to, go 90 the whole, these next 4 or 5 matches. That'd be crazy, but yeah, it'd be great to see some a new face out there.
Well, you were just saying last episode, Alex, that you thought that Mikey could max out the team to some extent with the World Cup coming up. This would be the ultimate example of that, but I put Toluca, especially that road match, in a different category with altitude playing such a giant factor in that one. For this opening match of the group, do you guys really expect a lot of rotations for this one? I would expect this to be full squad, full bore.
they
Yeah.
have to win here at home. That's like they have to win at home because when it comes to Toluca and their side of things, that's something that is going to be something that San Diego State has not faced yet. It's just the most hostile of environments. Yeah, you can maybe say LAFC and the first home game for Sun Heung-min, who is the closest thing to that, but Toluca in La Bombonera is a completely different atmosphere. It's a completely different animal. But even then, we're kind of hopping over Kansas City. Is that just because we know what this team is capable of in MLS? Is this potentially a trap game, or is this the rotation game for San Diego FC?
I mean, it could be, but yeah, I expect the same starting 11 from even Furry maybe out there to start against Sporting KC, and then who knows how Mikey Varas is going to try to rotate these guys. It's going to be a tougher matchup, especially against Toluca. We could get into the preview for next time, but yeah, they're a high scoring team. It's just that they're very good. They're very skilled and structured, and that is that's going to be a team to beat. It's going to be a very uphill battle, and then even more uphill as they head over to Toluca to play away in Mexico.
Well, honestly, I was first thinking about just Sporting KC.
Mhm.
Would you actually think that for the first MLS road match of the season that Mikey Varas would rotate his lineup? I don't. I think he's going to go with his strongest possible lineup in Kansas City. Now, that question then becomes, does that still mean that the teenager starts in goal? Duran Ferree, comfortable settings at home, a lot of comfort playing against some weaker clubs, some clubs that don't have much in the way of attack. Sporting KC isn't, in all the MLS power rankings I was looking at this week, nobody has them pinned much higher than like 23, I think. So, it's not exactly the toughest opponent still, but if Duran Ferree starts all 3 MLS matches to start the season, he's just the starter the rest of the year then, I guess.
And you think so, Tony? Like that? I think they're kind of like I said last time. I think they're picking and choosing when to start Furry, and right now it's actually a good soft landing spot for him to face St. Louis and Montreal and Sporting KC, and then it might be up in the air to see who starts against Toluca. But yeah, do you see it that way, Tony? Like he could be the starter for the rest of the way?
I mean, there's an argument to be made, yes, but I do think that with all the goalkeepers back in health, it's going to be as we thought it was going to be. Potentially not CJ starting off, but Cisniega taking back that starting role because you need him to be match fit and get those minutes under him in an actual match when you're going to eventually face him in Toluca. If I had to guess, Cisniega for sure starts in Toluca, and you need to ramp him up into that. And you still need to make him acclimated into the system, right? If he's playing against Sporting, if he's playing against Toluca, if he's playing against whoever that may be playing, San Diego State is very stylistic based. So Cisniega needs to get as many reps as he can and potentially, kind of grow on his own and grow into something that Duran is better at, the ball at his feet. That's just kind of now, hey, ball's in your court, buddy. This is what the kid can do. We'll need to see that from you too, aside from your shot stopping ability.
It'll be a fascinating decision. And obviously, they have the ability to see everything in training that we do not. That's why it seemed like a surprise to everyone except for the folks at Singing Hills when Furry went out there the first time, and especially when he went out there the second time. I just, as Tony just said, I think it would be a little weird to freeze him out after as well as Pablo did to start the season and to help them advance past Pumas. And if he's just going to be the Liga MX goalkeeper, that's kind of a weird and arbitrary designation. Like, oh, you play better against Mexican teams only. Like, I don't know. I get it, but I don't buy it. So I'll be really curious. I'd be more inclined to think young rookie or second year player, but still younger player playing at home comfortable situation, road match. Now we want the more veteran shot stopper in the match and on the pitch. But Mikey will have that call, and we'll find out coming up around 4:30 when the lineup is released on Saturday afternoon. Meanwhile, Leagues Cup schedule released for the summer as we kind of go through the headlines on this Thursday night edition of Chromaniacs. And unlike last year, guys, some real excitement coming up in Leagues Cup for San Diego. And I think still the headline is where you go away. SDFC at America? Come on.
Oh man, that one made me so happy because I'm like, yes, there's still no conflict with my Liga MX team. But hatred towards America, I love it. Because yeah, I don't like those guys. That's a huge matchup, especially you get to play them in Mexico. Man, I'm super giddy about that one, but you can't even leave out the Club Tijuana. You get to play for something. Club Tijuana, you get to play for something at home. And I saw Will Holder calling it the Frontera Derby. I kind of like the sound of that. I don't think we have a name for it yet, but I think that one's a marquee matchup for San Diego.
It's a Casino Cup.
Casino Cup.
Caliente versus Sequan.
That's right.
No, I mean, there are more likely still be a Baja Cup as well. I think that some of the questions were kind of going around. Will they still play and fulfill those friendlies? They should, because there is a 3-year contract with Cholos to get those done. But I mean, San Diego City should just put a residency over in DF, and because Mexico City is, they've gone to Pumas, they're going to go to Toluca, they're going to face America. Like, now you just need Cruz Azul, and you kind of fulfill the Mexico City team bingo sheet. But it's going to be for something, and it's going to be a third tournament too for San Diego FC, right? If they make it all the way through in this 2026 campaign, this would be their third tournament and third chance to get some silverware.
I'm particularly excited for America just because of the prestige of it, like we talked about. But I mean, you said it, Alex. We're going to see Xolos every year for, I think, 5 years in the friendly arrangement. But every one of those matches as exhibitions mean you see a lot of guys wearing, 100, 200 for Xolos, and kind of the same thing. It's sort of academy versus academy. People are going to pay real money to see it, but there's really not a lot there. I mean, it's a lot more in the truest sense of a friendly. This could be animosity. This could be seeing Tijuana's A team across the border against San Diego, or at least something close to it, depending on how seriously they are taking Leagues Cup. And of course, we would love, as Tony just said, to be in a circumstance where San Diego's advancing so deep in the CCC that they can afford to not take Leagues Cup seriously, and to say, okay, we just can't afford to continue to expend our manpower on this, because we need to worry about MLS and we need to worry about trying to lift a trophy in CONCACAF. So that could be, wait and see. Toluca's waiting. They could just drop the hammer on our butts over the course of the next 2 weeks. But nonetheless, I just really like the idea of SDFC's profile being raised to the point that most of the key clubs in Mexico are starting to see them now.
Yeah, it's I think that was the thing I was probably most excited about when we first got this MLS team, that we would start seeing these matchups. Club Tijuana, Club America, Pumas. I know eventually it's gonna happen, Tony. It's gonna happen with Chivas eventually, and that one's gonna be difficult to watch, because I know my mom's gonna be on one side. She's gonna be like, "Go Chivas," and then I'm gonna have to be pulling for San Diego, and it's gonna be that one's gonna be hard. But yeah, we're gonna start seeing these teams and some of their superstars if I'm pretty sure Gilberto Mora had a great Leagues Cup last year, and we might see him. We might see him in full form, ready to play in this Leagues Cup match, because he didn't show up in the Baja Cup last year. But this might be our chance to see the 17-year-old. He's still going to be 17 years old when he shows up against San Diego FC.
And look at the dates after World Cup. So a lot of things can change from here to then. Players coming in, players going out for all of these teams and San Diego FC as well. So it's going to be interesting what the roster construction is going to be for that. Pueblo, what can you tell me about Pueblo, Craig?
Nothing. What can you tell me?
The Battle of Puebla.
The Kansas City Royals of Liga MX.
Yeah.
It's just, they have a flash in the pan here and there, but it's just like, who wants to go play in Kansas City? Like,
Bobby Witt. If the money pays, Michael Walker.
The good thing is they're playing here. The good thing is they're playing here. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it'll be interesting here after World Cup. So good stuff. Hopefully America fans, behave themselves, and San Diego FC can enjoy a good outing out there.
Part of me would love to try and go to Toluca, but I don't know, man. Busy times right now. Busy times. San Diego Soccer's points in 8 straight. First place in the table. Clean and clear. That's why we're recording quite late on a Thursday evening. That's why we're trucking right through the headlines of the week. Barreling toward training ground sound, but first, a note that we didn't, I think, at least underline on our post-match show. And if you want to hear all of our discussion regarding SDFC's 2-0 win over St. Louis City, you can find that on the Chromaniacs post-match show on the podcast right behind you, or the YouTube video right behind you on this feed. Nonetheless, the fact that with his goal and assist, Andres Dreyer got to 2020 in his brief MASL career. And by brief, 36 matches, 40 goal contributions, 20 each goals and assists. Only Lionel Messi, who did it in 10 fewer, was able to get to those numbers faster. Unbelievable how well SDFC hit on their second DP after flaming out on their first DP so miserably. And the second one is so good that it doesn't even matter.
It still continues to amaze me that he's still doing it. He's still producing. And I thought there might be a chance like down the line that someone's going to figure him out and, double mark him and, put him in a tough position. And, the rest of the 9 outfield players are going to have to do something about it. But yeah, he's still unbelievable, and we have him here. And I do hope that a lot of the San Diego fans do appreciate that he is up there, with Lionel Messi, and third on the list is Carlos Vela, who really performed here with LAFC in MLS. So yeah, go out and pay the tickets, go see this guy, because he is amazing. He is a top player in this league, and man, it's just so great that he's on our side.
I mean, he's everything that he's everything that everybody wanted the other guy, the other DP, to be, and surpassing Carlos Vela in everything, right? Like he was that player who was supposed to take this mantelpiece, and the opportunity was there, but Andres Dreyer was the one that stuck with it and has honestly just melded so well with the team. And like, we've been saying, I don't think we've seen the best of him. I think he's still growing into his own prime, and that's going to be scary for the rest of the league.
I think he's doing pretty good right now.
I don't know
that there's another level.
I think there is. And I think it is by really just being unquestionably good when being double, triple teamed. I think it's those moments where he's going to be able to move forward and still produce that, he's just going to be undeniable, but he's doing pretty good. The 10th scorer, man, in 2 games.
Do you think that like last year he had a career high, like 36 goal contributions. Do you think he could do even better than that? Like get 20, get over 40, get over 45?
Because of the assists, because of
Yeah.
Marcus and Varston. And I think that has a lot to do with it. The health of Marcus and Varston is going to dictate how well Dreyer's going to do this season.
Interesting. Well, and Vartson has certainly shown up and showed out so far for San Diego FC. So I'm not going to bet against him because betting's silly, and why do it and create negative karma or anything else. I would think the under would play there for Dreyer with the increased defensive attention and no that guy who used to be on the other side that would help. But maybe Ingvartson's that guy on the other side now. Maybe Pellegrino's the guy who cleans it up. Maybe Lewis Morgan is somebody who we actually get to see at some point in the near future. And as we get a lot closer to training ground sound here, also some news, Tony, that for all of our Ferree versus Cisniega, CJ Dos Santos is ready to throw his face mask away and throw his gloves into the ring too.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's healthy in that goalkeeping room, right? And I think it was best case scenario for Duran Ferree and his camp and just what he's been trying to do. And ultimately, that's what's best case scenario for San Diego FC. You have three options to go ahead and really rely on. You gave him a chance to come up and recover in their own way. And now you have a difficult, a difficult situation where who are you going to play? You can only play one goalkeeper per match virtually, in this sport. You can't just sub unlimitedly. But I think, for the things that Duran Ferree brings to this team, he has to get a consideration. And right now, I don't think he's going to be battling for first right now because Pablo Cisniega was slated to start last game, but he was just kept out because of, I believe, just couple of just body aches and just wasn't at 100%. So that's why Duran Ferree started. Had it not been for that, Cisniega would have started. So kind of that pecking order. And I think it's going to be Duran CJ for that second spot for right now, moving forward.
All right. My keeper. Get him back in there. Let's find out. Well, let's get to training ground sound, Tony, and hear the latest from Singing Hills as SDFC gets ready to get on a plane and head out to the Midwest for their first inside the United States road trip of the year.
Mikey, back on the road this season for the first time in MLS. How's the team preparing? How is the feeling having to travel again in the U.S.?
Yeah, the feeling is we're ready for the season that we're in to be on this journey together. And of course, we established this road performance mentality last year, and this year we want to show that it wasn't just a one-off, but it's an attitude that we have, and it's a mentality that we have to go there and continue being brave, continue being relentless, and showing who we are through our performance.
And it's the first time this season where you, again, have 3 games in 1 week. How do you keep that mentality that you're talking about?
Yeah, I think it's easy. The guys love playing games. So it's when lots of games come, the more important thing is to focus on the quick turnarounds. So recover, get guys who maybe didn't get minutes, enough stimulation so that they could jump in a game, and then making sure you have a big squad.
Then we saw Duran start again last week. How difficult is he making it with the goalkeeper decision now that Pablo Cisniega could be 100% for this game?
Yeah, it's a 3-way competition. All the guys are clear. I know that doesn't usually happen in other clubs in the world, but it's one of our strengths that we have the feeling of embracing competition. And that goalkeeping unit is I think one of the most perfect examples of that value, because it's 4 of them that work together, 3 of them that are competing for playing time, and they're always training each other to try to beat each other out, and at the same time, equal parts supporting each other to make sure that the guy who does get called on is as prepared as possible. And we have the characters in that group to make the best of this. And this is actually an ideal situation because competition always makes everybody rise.
Mikey.
Interesting stuff from Mikey Varas, and he brings up a good point, Tony, in terms of just how great SDFC was away in 2025, starting with that very opening match. And, no one knew at the time how down LA Galaxy would be, but going into the place where they literally lifted up MLS Cup and coming away 2-0 winners in the first match in franchise history. And that really continued all the way through to winning 4-0 at Portland to wrap up first place in the Western Conference at the end of the regular season. It was just all the way through. This club felt like they could always win and even sometimes look better on the road.
Yeah, and I mean, I think I mentioned it last season too, that they were made to be road warriors that entire time, in terms of making it happen where they felt like the home team at away matches with their play style, with the possession, and that's exactly what they did. And with that, it created a chip on their shoulder of like, no, we are the inaugural team, we have to prove ourselves. But then moving into this season, how they're mentally shifting that is, oh, you don't think we could do it again? You think that was just a one-time thing? No, let us show you how good we actually are on the road. And now that we have some time underneath us, we're even going to be better on the road. So that's what Mikey Varas and company are trying to move towards. And, again, if we've learned anything from this team, is that they don't lie. They are transparent, and when they can be, and when they are, they're pretty honest about their intentions, and they can make it happen.
Yeah, they were the best away teams for an expansion year ever, and it really did show whenever it kind of seemed like anywhere they went, it felt like they were very confident in their playing style, and they can get the 3 points regardless of situation. I mean, that LAFC match to me like really showed me a lot that felt like a hostile environment, and they didn't really care. They're like, we're gonna win this match, and they did. And yeah, even Portland in the pouring rain too. Like they just adjust to the elements, and they really prove a lot of people wrong that this was gonna be a last place team. Nope, they just kept winning away from home. So yeah, hopefully that continues this year, and they collect the wins and the points, and that's gonna lead us to, I mean, a top 4 seed, hopefully in the Western Conference.
What's next from SDFC camp?
Well, a little bit of interesting info. I tell you, Mikey in Spanish likes to talk a little bit more sometimes, and he gives a little bit more color. This is actually him talking about the right back position this season.
Mikey, ha habido muchas bajas en la posición lateral derecha, en la defensiva. En tu opinión, ¿crees que es por el rendimiento que se requiere por la banda derecha o es un caso de mala suerte para esos jugadores?
So she was asking essentially like, what's going on with that right back position? Is it because you're asking a lot of them? It's a lot of work rates. What is that exactly?
Un poquito tres cosas, un poquito suerte, mala suerte, un poquito el rendimiento, lo que pedimos en nuestro fútbol, que es muy exigente. Y el tercero
just a little bit of three things. It's just
con muchos jóvenes ahí que
a lot of young cats.
No han tenido esa adaptación inicial.
They haven't been able to adapt correctly entirely.
¿No?
And
juegos de primera división.
They do ask a lot of them and those young players.
Que regresan, van a regresar un poquito más fuerte.
But every time they come back even stronger. But it is a little bit of bad luck. He also mentioned that Verhoeven is back and Willy Kumado is again training in that right back position. So health is on the way for SanDiego FC.
Knock wood. Hope that all the players currently healthy stay healthy, but it's always great to see the injured players get back. And it would be really cool to see Willy Kumado. We haven't seen him in a minute for SDFC. So, yeah, that is some good stuff. And also, I guess, some good points, Alex, in terms of with the duress and the youth of the team, you're going to see, more rotation there.
Yeah, and it seems like that right back position is still like that's another position that's a open competition that no one has secured it, and there's probably 3-4 players for that position. And yeah, I think that is a very rotational spot that they're trying to find the best combination. And was it true that did he say correctly that he felt that Bomino so far has done a pretty good job on the right side, that for who he is, I think, what is he, left-footed fullback? that he's doing pretty good there? And does that mean he might stay on?
He wants somebody with the right foot Mikey Vada did say that, did praise him, but he wants somebody with the right foot on that side and give Honors a little bit of a break. And, at the same time too, Bombino's natural position, that's where he's best at, over on the left back side.
Got it.
I got Chris McVeigh up next.
Let's hear it. Nice
Chris,
stash.
I mean, how much pride does the backline take on back-to-back clean sheets, right, in the start of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's huge. But obviously it's a team effort. So it starts at the top on how the press is and stuff like that. So it's a shout out to the whole team. But, I mean, for us defenders, it's, kind of what we're there for as well. So it's really, really nice to have the clean sheets.
And how much responsibility is it on you just, being the leader of that back line, especially this last couple of games with Duran, also a very young goalkeeper, and the other defenders also very young?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm just trying to grow into that also and take a lot of responsibility for the guys. But I mean, the young guys are doing a great job and they listen well. And I think, regardless of who plays, we have a clear identity and we follow it. So no, I think it's been great. And I think the guys coming in have been doing a great job regardless of who's playing.
Mikey talks about this fireman.
Didn't want to let someone else's question get in there, right?
You can play if you want.
I mean, it's all right. Yeah, one more play. Let this guy have a chance.
Let's let him have it.
All right.
I mean, I heard the first half. I was like,
Mentality on the back line. Can you speak to not only how well you guys are playing, but where that comes from?
Yeah, I mean, I think also you've seen last game, it was a goal line clearance from Kieran, I think, and we had a couple last year. I think Ian had one, huge one in the playoff and so on. So, I think it's also us, putting our body on the line a little bit in front of the goal and just really trying to get those clean sheets and conceding as few goals as possible. Because, I mean, I think that's how you win championships. It starts with defending. So, I mean, we take a lot of honor and pride in that.
all right, now you can cut it. No, I'm just kidding. But no, it's really true though, in terms of, I think a lot of people, when they think about defending in soccer in a very passive sense, shot blocks, but a lot of it is absorbing pain. A lot of it is being positional in a situation where you can endure the physicality of a player trying to go through you and absorbing those fouls, creating those possession opportunities by just using proper positioning and having the daring do to accept the pain. I don't know, I'm going to get trucked here, but instead of sliding a little bit to my side and avoiding that and the guy bursts through, I'm going to take that hit, I'm going to draw that whistle, and we're going to get up and we're going to have the ball on our side.
Yeah, and that's not something that you'll see on the stat sheet, that all the physicality that it takes to play a center back position. It's especially when the type of style that SanDiego.FC plays, like they have to run back and especially if it's like on a counter and try to defend themselves really well. And sometimes that does mean like a sliding tackle and taking somebody out, and that could go on, for a couple more times that happens. So yeah, right now that you mentioned like when there is like someone that's big bruising, like that's coming at you, I just thought about João Klaus. Like that man is huge, and that would be the guy that like Chris McVeigh would have to go up against, like on a corner kick or something like that. Like he's gonna be coming at you on like right for that header, and you're gonna have to take it. And yeah, it's things like that when we might not like quantify it, but yeah, Chris McVeigh is a big part of it.
All right, since you guys like Chris McVeigh so much, here's one more. It's actually pretty good.
Oh, all right.
The backline relies a lot on Yeppe as the holding midfielder. What can you tell us about his game compared to maybe other holding midfielders that you played in the past with?
Yeah, I mean, Yeppe's class. I think he's a very smart player. So his positioning is very good. and then on the ball and stuff, he's very calm for us as well. So I think having him in front of us, it's really huge. And I think, we connect good on the field and understand each other. So it's been a really good collaboration between us. So it's been great.
I asked Mikey about the right back situation. A lot of players have been injured from last season, this season, and he said it's a little bit of three things, right? It's that they're younger players adapting to the pro level, but it's also the requirement of the right side of the field. You've played in that role as well a couple of times. How demanding is it playing at the right back position?
Yeah, I think that's definitely one of the tougher positions. You have to do a lot of running, because you have to always be back, but also join in the attacks. So, it's a long runs. It's a little different than playing maybe in the middle where you use more shorter, sharper, it's more longer runs. So it's definitely tough. And I mean, we got a lot of different guys that can go and jump in there and play. So it's been good kind of regardless of who's playing. As I said, we have a big squad. So that's great.
Always love to hear when the boss man's verbiage comes out of the employees' mouths. It's a sign that culture has been distributed. They have a big squad indeed, Tony.
My favorite part is that it's like, we have a lot of guys that could do that. So don't ask me to do it again because I'm chilling in the center back position.
Oh man, yeah, that's good. Good sound from Chris McVay right there.
All right, who's next up?
All right, we have one Kamal Pellegrino who, again, just has now taken over completely for that starting left wing position. And let me just get him here because he was asked not just about his starting position, but looking forward to maybe taking somebody under his wing. As I put it up here. Perfect.
We'll go straight into questions.
Kamal, how's the confidence level in you, knowing that you have the full trust for Mikey Varas to be the starting left winger this season?
Oh, the work starts here. So we come here every week to become a better player, a better team player, and to become a better team. So that's the main focus. And of course, all the players in the locker room wants to play games. And I've started the two first games, so I'm happy with that. But we can't relax here. If you relax here, you have a fantastic squad with a lot of potential and talent that want to play too.
I wanted to ask about Brian Samble, a left winger as well, very young. What can you tell us about his game, potentially maybe taking him under your wing just to teach him a little bit? Obviously very young, still a lot of room for improvement.
Yes, he's a fantastic kid, a kid that really wants to learn. So when you have a guy like that, then it's important to take him under the wings, like you said. And he has been a really good addition to the squad we have. He's trying to learn every day, and it's pretty amazing to see the steps he have taken for just a short period for a professional first team, as he have been doing now. And he will not stop there, so he will become much better, and you will see a lot of good things from that play.
For a guy who's literally almost twice his age, Kamal Pellegrino sees what he likes in Brian Samble, but what I appreciate about that, I mean, it's that calm professionalism, Tony, of a guy who probably does know that his job is fairly secure for now, but if someone's going to take it, it's that kid. So as he said, the work continues at the training ground to keep that job.
Exactly that, right? And like you can even tell, he's a good kid. He's a good person, player. I'll let the coaches decide, but they're deciding I'm the better one right now. So I'll just keep my mouth shut right there. But that was a business decision by Kamal Pellegrino to do that. But it's good for him to also talk about taking him under the wing and just kind of seeing that he's also growing and learning and what his role is. How many times have we seen in professional sports, just, new player comes in and the veteran is just like, it's in a dog-eat-dog world, and you're going to either, fail or come on up. I'm not going to help you in that. So even, sabotage you, but it's just not this culture for San Diego FC. And I think Zamblé is in a good spot to potentially, get in some of those minutes, because yes, Lewis Morgan can go ahead and go in the left, but if Varsity needs some rest, they'll put Morgan down in the center and put Zamblé on the left, and I think that's still a good option to have for San Diego FC.
I like Pellegrino, and I think he knows where he's at in his career, and he knows that there's going to be someone younger and hungrier that wants to take his spot, and I think for the benefit of the team, it's good to kind of teach him and kind of teach him what and to make him better, make the team better. Um, I could see Pellegrino sticking around if he wants like some sort of coaching job here in San Diego. He probably might want to do that, and this is a good way to get started in that.
He ain't gonna stick around San Diego. He's going back all the way back to Europe, where he lives and where he's been raised.
Did he rent or own that? When I saw that post that he got a house somewhere in San Diego, I think he might be sticking around.
Huh? Well, only time will tell. And Zamblé, could make Pellegrino an afterthought if he exploded onto the scene in a real way. But I think we saw in the last match, at 2-0, he was brought in essentially at stoppage time. They're going to bring him along slowly. He's not going to be a shooting star across the horizon, I don't think, this season. Any other bites before we move on to Sporting?
I think we're okay right now for sound bites. Marcus and Varsity just said hi, guys. Still healthy, still coming back. So there wasn't a lot there, but you can find it all on SanDiego.Futbol. I did want to post with Kamal Pellegrino. I don't know if you've seen that he made himself a viral superstar the last couple of days with an old school goal of his making the rounds. This is back when Kamal Pellegrino was in Europe. Still same build. Just good control, finds a space, clearly taps it in. Ooh. Little sweet little goal. Still looking almost 40, even though he was much younger there. But, that's neither here nor there.
That was just a few years ago, Tony. That was like 3 or 4 years ago when he scored that goal.
3 or 4 years ago, man, I still had hair. So things go down quickly.
Fair enough. Okay, then with that, let's turn our attention to the beginning of this road gauntlet, which is a trip to Sporting KC, where the club has been a little bit down. And Alex, the outlook hasn't been great. So all of the numbers seem to speak well for San Diego, but who should SDFC fans be worried about here?
Yeah, this is another, just like last time, right? With St. Louis City, they're getting a new manager in. They want to, impose a new system, and that's kind of how this is looking like. It's looking like a rebuild. They want to get younger players in. So there's it's kind of hard to say, like, who should they look out for? Of course, like, you start at the top with Dejan Joveljic. He is the striker for Sporting KC. Scored 18 goals last season, 15 the year prior with LA Galaxy. He scored a brace in the last game, so he still got it. How they scored those goals was mostly on a counter and winning that second ball, and they did a good job just passing it through. It was kind of funny, just like looking at the replay. It's not like he kicked it with a lot of force and got the goal in. It was more like a little tap, and it just rolled in gracefully. So Joveljic, he's still prolific. He can get you some double digits goals for Sporting KC. But I think the other guy that's gonna be not a problem, but he could be a concern, is their own Manu. is Manu. What was his name? Manu. Is it? And I just had it. Manu
Suleimanov?
Garcia. Yeah, Manu
That's right.
Garcia. Yeah, he's from Spain. And yeah, in the midfield, he actually led the team with touches last week, and he seems like a guy that they're trying to get him the ball so he could get it out to Joveljic, in the final third. Um, he's doing pretty well with KC so far. So it's just those two guys for KC. That back line, like they really didn't do much for that back line this offseason. It's a lot of younger kids that they're even starting a 17-year-old. So that back line is gonna be really young, very vulnerable. I think the last two teams, Columbus Crew and San Jose, have been attacking that right side. So that's going to give a lot of opportunities for Anders Dreyer on that right side. So good luck to them to try to stop Anders Dreyer with this young backline. And it is very young. Like they, you know, the last couple of years rarely had any minutes in the MLS. So very inexperienced with their age. It's just it kind of smells like this might lead into disaster for Sporting KC.
This is San Diego's FC's game to lose, if we're really being honest, right? Like, and that's been the point of discussion for a lot of people who are saying, hey, like, what's going on with San Diego FC? They've beat up on terrible teams, and they're coming up to a not elite team right now, and that's going to continue. But you still have to take care of business in these ways, and what better way to just go away and put Kansas City away once again, and now you've imposed yourself, right? You're doing the things that you need to do as a top team. You need to go ahead and score 5 against Montreal. I'm going to be looking at, whenever the LAFC plays those types of teams and how they do, right? Are they able to also clobber them? Are they also able to go and just absolutely decimate a team whenever they want to? And I think, with the vulnerabilities of this team, they know how to play against teams that are going to low block them. And they're going to load up the box and just going to play boring, hunker down, defensive plays, and hopefully try to counterattack and take advantage of the few plays that they'll have. They'll try to come out and be hot and heavy in the beginning 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but they're not going to be able to really keep up, I feel. And San Diego FC is going to take control of this. And, this can definitely, maybe we'll see San Diego FC get scored for the first time in 2026 in MLS.
And yes, that's right.
Well, and the other one did come away. Yeah, the other one did come away. And their one trip away was 1-0. But I don't think you can just look at that game outside of the context of they came in ahead 4-1 in a 2-leg tie, playing at altitude, and knowing that they did not need to waste their energy scoring. What they had to do was keep Pumas off the board. And other than one goal, they absolutely did that. And Cisniega was great. So maybe one other question I would have, is there a reason for SDFC to try and get Lewis Morgan in the mix? You certainly wouldn't expect him to do anything but come off the bench at this point. But so far, the changes for San Diego up top have been fairly consistent over the course of the CCC, as well as the first 2 matches of MLS, including, in MLS, seeing Zamblé very late at left wing. But Morgan is a guy that we've been talking about since the winter. He, as Alex noted and posted, has been spotted in the socials for San Diego FC as being out there on the training ground. It looked like he was running fast. I mean, it was a still picture, but boy, sure looked like his arms and legs were pumping. So would there be a reason to do that here against Sporting KC?
Yeah, do you want? It kind of seems like this would be an opportunity to just see how it looks, in an actual game, and probably give them 20 minutes or just about 30 minutes, just to see what you got with Morgan and play him out there. Probably regardless of the score, or maybe maybe a change of pace might help if you're down a goal, but I have a hard time imagining San Diego FC being down a goal late in this match. But who knows? Things happen. Couple of counters, you run through Manu Dua and Chris McVeigh and score a goal. But yeah, maybe a very like short 20 minutes. Just give them a look and see what you got.
I can see him, coming in with this, reminiscent of a Sasquatch a sighting picture, a pose that he's doing, Lewis Morgan. But no, I can see him definitely coming in and getting some minutes, because if you look at the last couple games, especially last game, Marcus and Varston comes out and they throw Dreyer down the middle. And so I think that's going to be an option now, to instead of have that and have him come down the middle. Yeah, you can maybe sit Dreyer out and not have him go the full 90 and give him a rest and save him for Toluca. And then you give Lewis Morgan a look down the middle as well, and then throw David Vasquez or somebody else on the right wing that can also play. And, I think there is space and time for us, because San Diego FC should be winning this game. And then the time that you throw Lewis Morgan in minute 75, you should have this game pretty much secured.
I tell you, it's crazy. Each week that we go forward, and I listen to you two talk about the game and preview, and it's like you guys talk about football like it's football instead of soccer. Meaning like, oh, well, yeah, they've got a couple of good teams, but the Cowboys are going to stomp them. They're just too strong on the offensive line. I think this one's going to be a 3-touchdown game. Like in soccer, crazy stuff happens all the time. It happens all the time. It's like the second most random sport in the world. So I'm not going to just, we should win. If SDFC wins, they're going to just continue to impress. I mean, everything they've done so far has been so incredibly impressive. And if they did wind up dropping a couple points on the road and oh man, a mistake, and then a golazo, and all of a sudden you've conceded twice, but you fight back and you score twice and you get out of there 2-2, that wouldn't be the worst result in the history of the world if you faced a challenge like that and you came away with it with a result, even if it was a draw. But the way things are going right now, I feel like that expectation bar keeps just going higher, higher, higher. And now it's actually above the screen of the camera at this point, because it's like, no, we expect them to win every single game. We're expecting rotational subs in the 75th minute, part of 3-goal lead on the road, because we're just that good. And you know what? They might be. They might be just that good. They might be just that good. It's a matter of time. And it's a matter of taking advantage of a schedule where you're getting 3 teams in the bottom tercile of the MLS table, and you want to rake 9 points out of those 3 matches.
Yeah, and so far they haven't played down to their opponent. Like there hasn't been any proof of that. And I'm going to include Pumas in that. Pumas wasn't really a great team here. They the elements kind of caught up to San Diego FC, but even playing field, I think San Diego FC would probably win two matches here at home. But yeah, they're playing really good, and there isn't much of a it sucks to say that about Sporting KC, a real MLS team, but it's not much of a challenge for them. Like they should roll this team over and get ready for the next one. But like you said, crazy things could happen. They can just probably bunker down. Yeah, we could probably see it. They just bunker down, low block, just wait for the ball to come to them on a counter, and they score. And it might be one of those games where they can't figure it out. But I think so far they have. I mean, they've found solutions. They found solutions against Pumas. They went on a great run, scoring like 4 goals against them. And yeah, it just everything's working for this team. It's hard to find the like the negatives here. Like there's very little. Like they're kind of covering all their bases here.
And if they lose, that'll be a very interesting show next time, because they'll again, there'll be things to point out and there'll be things to kind of question. But hey, even if they do lose, like they're almost due for one. But it can't be all rainbows and sunshines. You should, in theory, win. But if you don't, and you eke out a 1-0, well, was it a great Kansas City game and their pursuit of their first victory of the season,
Right.
or just different factors, very different circumstance from last year. McVay actually mentioned it. Hey, McVay at the start of the show today, that it's significantly less hot than the last time.
Oh, great point.
You're
Right.
Kansas City.
Yeah, because when you go there in the late summer, it's horrible. You have to swim through the air. The humidity is so just oppressive. So no, that's an excellent point that you're catching that road trip at a good time. If anything, it could be cold. But mild temperatures in Missouri that's really good news for San Diego FC. Well, we'll find out how everything plays, and then Saturday evening, minus Mr. Sanchez, we can get together for a Chromaniacs post-match show. However, what I've heard, Alex, is that because Tony has a prior obligation, he's bringing in the hard-hitting, pull no punches, Alejandro Chiva Villaseñor as a guest Chromaniac. We'll have to see if he has anything silver in the wardrobe, but have Chiva join us, Alex, for the post-match show.
All right, yeah, we'll get to hear what Chiva has to say about the match, and I think I think this is going to be a whopping like 3-0 game. Let's pack our bags and get ready for Toluca.
It's going to be crazy when Durant starts and it's a third clean sheet in a row.
I know. Oh my goodness. And then you're gonna be talking about like, oh, maybe he should start against Toluca. Nah.
You guys, I swear, the hubris. Don't forget, hubris doesn't usually pay off. There's usually a problem. The higher that the ego goes and the higher that the expectation goes, there's usually a drop at some point. I'm trying to keep both feet on the ground here. San Diego FC second-year team. They're 2-0. That ain't nothing. They could still finish 2-32. Okay? There's a lot of room. Let's go get a result in Kansas City.
I do think that San Diego FC needed that moment like Durant had in the second game. Minute 11, ball goes right under his foot, and just that heart drop. Like he needed that. I'm very just adamant that was necessary because he was a little too comfortable, right? He was kind of the man of the week. He was just, he was the guy, and just needed that slight reminder and that slight adrenaline boost to be like, oh, okay, I need to just tighten things up. And if this for San Diego FC, they need that at some point. Somebody needs to punch him in the face a little bit. And then you see a better version of them, go for it. Like, I think it's a welcome addition to be challenged. And Mikey will say that he likes playing against good teams because diamond sharpen diamond.
I don't want a punch in the face or a kick in the face. We've seen what that happens to our goalkeepers. So maybe just a light little slap.
Wow. All right. With that, let's draw this episode of Chromaniacs to a close. Episode 35, season 2, episode 7. As we take stock of the beauty around us. Every once in a while on the trip, you got to look around and go, wow, things are really nice. Things are really nice right now at SDFC. Let's see if the sun run continues through Missouri on Saturday night. Now, Tony and I will be back on Sunday afternoon on MASL TV here on YouTube for the San Diego Sockers and Baltimore Blast. That's a live broadcast. That'll be after daylight savings time kicks in. So think about that, losing an hour from Saturday to Sunday for a 3 o'clock, which will feel like a 2 o'clock kickoff. So we've got a busy weekend ahead. But Tony, tell everybody what's going on at SanDiego.Futbol.
Yeah, we got 2 balls in the mic. We got all these interviews that you can find the full audio of on SanDiego.Futbol, Instagram, and everything that we have. Thank you for everybody who's been on the journey to the World Cup. And we'll see you guys as we have more content coming out. And there will be a community fundraising game that Chiva's hosting at the Ryan Family YMCA that'll be live streaming here on Saturday morning.
Love it. Alex, what's the latest at chromaticfc.com?
Yeah, just I'll have another preview out for tomorrow. And I'm gonna grab this episode, put it in a post, and send it out to all the subscribers. So if you want to be a subscriber, go to chromaticfc.com and follow me on chromaticfc SD on Instagram. Craig.
Well, don't forget to follow us, The Chromaniacs, on Instagram, The Chromaniacs on TikTok. Depending on the social media platform you have, we've probably got a channel for you. And with that, let's bring an end to this particular episode. We'll be back Saturday with post-match coverage, and then it's Toluca and onward and upward for San Diego FC. Until then, for Tony Sanchez and Alex Pena, I'm Craig Elston saying thanks to you for being with us. If you've been watching all this time on YouTube and you haven't hit that thumbs up yet, give us that like button. That would be greatly appreciated on the way out. And until the next time we see you, vamos, SDFC.